Welcome to Missed Opportunities for Good, the podcast where we open up the space to have conversations about trends and campaigns at the intersection of marketing, advertising, and impact.
Hi, I'm Alana Ficalora.
Hi, I'm Steph Belsky.
We're social impact strategists, colleagues, and friends who are on a mission to revolutionize the industry we love.
Today, there's a lot of virtue signaling, greenwashing, cause washing, or companies saying nothing out of fear of getting it wrong.
Whether it's a moment or a movement, it still has to be real. It has to be authentic and aligned with the brand, not just performative. It's about the action being taken that goes along with the messaging.
So we're here to highlight who's doing it well, what could be better, and how companies can stop leaving money and the potential for real social change on the table.
On today's episode, we're continuing our conversation on hits and misses from female-focused or female-owned brands. We're talking about companies that are boldly using their platforms to have open discussions about issues that previously were either not commonly acknowledged in our culture and often certainly not recognized in traditional advertising.
And as a quick reminder, we're taking a break from our usual format of evaluating based on our missed opportunities for good criteria for this very special two-part series. So while many of these campaigns have not had a nonprofit partnership or a donation component, it's really important to acknowledge how important the work that they're doing is to highlight these issues. And if you missed part one, which was more focused on motherhood, happy Mother's Day, go listen to episode 20 now.
I mean, every day is Mother's Day, right? Just kidding. My favorite was the campaign that was trying to make the day about making the day after Mother's Day, like the real Mother's Day for moms. Like mom should take the Monday off because Mother's Day is usually about your mom or gathering family or not actually what moms want. And so they should just take Monday off to actually celebrate what they want to do. I thought that was hilarious. Okay. Anyhow, so we are also aware that not every woman is or will be a mom. So we want to make this more inclusive to include all women because there are plenty of issues affecting all of us. So we're going to dig into a few campaigns today that focus on all women in the workplace. And what better way to kick that off than with Dicks? Not the brand, the name. The campaign So Many Dicks by Elf Beauty. Steph, tell us more.
Oh man. Again, I'm gonna chalk this up to my days at College Humor, but I can't go wrong with a good dick joke. You can't. So kudos to Elf Beauty. Elf stands for every lip and face. And the idea behind this amazing beauty brand campaign is that they are calling for more diversity in US corporate boardrooms in their new campaign, So Many Dicks. According to a press release, the effort will primarily be seen on digital screens at transportation hubs around Wall Street, which, again, brilliant in terms of, trying to get the attention of men primarily who would not typically give a shit about how diverse a board is or not.
Well, these stats are so fascinating, right? There's 566 men named Richard, Rick, or Dick on the boards of the US-based companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange. What? Compared to only 806 Black women, 774 Asian women, and 283 Hispanic women. And there's nearly 37,000 board members. Let's revisit the fact that 566 isn't like all men or all of a certain type of men. That's just men named Richard, Rick, or Dick.
Unbelievable.
What?
So Elf is capitalizing on this idea as part of their larger Change the Board game initiative around corporate diversity. The campaign really demonstrates how certain brands are leaning into diversity, equity, inclusion amid a wider pullback in corporate America. And one of the most brilliant parts of the campaign, I mean, there's a lot of things happening in this campaign, which we'll try to hit on some, if not most of it, but we really loved the creative that they launched earlier this month, with tennis legend and equity advocate Billie Jean King. The whole idea of the creative was that she was serving facts by physically serving tennis balls with facts about this campaign and how and the lack of equity in boardrooms by serving tennis balls into a boardroom full of men.
Things
And
and the facts on the ball said things
yeah,
like women make up only 27% of US corporate boards. The average US corporate board is 88% white. Fun facts.
fun facts. So yeah, and this was actually the brand's partnership with the National Association of Corporate Boards in order to create a board accelerator program intended to train and create visibility for 20 women and or diverse board ready candidates. So shout
There
out.
is action behind this one.
Yes, very much so.
It's yeah, it's great. Going into some of that creative. I mean, this is how great these billboards are. Things like, obviously, there's so many dicks, but my favorite, it's okay to be a dick, but America's boardrooms need more of everyone else.
Yes. So true.
Learn how diversity creates profitability for everyone, even dicks. I mean, you don't expect a female forward brand to make dick jokes. So to your point, it's pretty funny because it's also like know your audience. And on both levels, this is a pretty funny approach.
And to give her flowers, Billie Jean King has a great quote about the campaign. She says, "Fighting for gender equality and inclusivity has been the driving force in my life for 70 years. Change is often a slow process, and those in positions of power can bring about change quicker. Elf Beauty is leading change in the boardroom and showing us investment in equality and inclusivity will ultimately be rewarded with tangible results." Snaps.
Yeah.
Snaps.
This one was definitely, I think, our favorite of the episode. We're starting off strong. And it's interesting, right? Because Elf is also no stranger to addressing different issues and supporting different nonprofits and actually putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
They do seem to really take these issues seriously. They've partnered with everyone from ACLU to the Women's Hockey League, and combined with the Hidden Opponent, which is a nonprofit supporting mental health for student athletes. They're supportive of the Everybody campaign. They've supported whale and dolphin conservation. And in all of these, we'll drop a link in the show notes, but in all of these campaigns, there sometimes is advocacy component, sometimes it's a donation, but they're really doing something, it feels like, and they're genuinely interested in these issues. And it makes sense because their target market is constantly in every survey saying that they care about social issues and want to purchase from companies that are making a difference. So it just goes to show that you can do this and sell product and have a full ecosystem. What we really want to know, though, is are they selling tennis balls with these facts, and where can we buy them to just like whack them on the court?
Wait, can we buy them at Dick's Sporting Goods? Because that would just be that would be the piece to result. Yeah, and Alana, like you said, I mean, Elf is really leading the way here, as evidenced by their sales, right? Like Elf saw sales grow 85% during their holiday quarter, blowing past Wall Street estimates. The brand has remained a favorite of Gen Z by advertising high quality products at low prices and giving back. And I think that that's really so key here.
All part of the ecosystem.
All part of it. So, okay, this is great. We're empowering women. Love this, and making room for more women and more diversity on boards. But what about the women that, even though deserve to be on a board, are still very much doubting themselves? What's happening with that?
Cue L'Oreal and their Worth It resume campaign.
Yep.
Not sure if you've caught this or not, but L'Oreal recently launched a Worth It resume. They have had their Worth It tagline, because I'm worth it tagline, since 1973. So this ties into the long-standing campaign of that, but with taking, quite a different approach. As part of this campaign, they are having their brand ambassadors share resumes on LinkedIn, which has become, I feel like, the hot social site for anyone looking for a job, in a job, It's the professional social site of choice. I don't even know that there's another one, but
Yeah.
LinkedIn's hot these days. So they're filling LinkedIn with these resumes that show these high profile women's struggles and setbacks along their greatest achievements. So we're not even showing any of the in-betweens that are the highlights. They're literally showing the lowlights. Is that even a word? So they're, inviting you to share hashtag worth it resume on these social platforms. And the insight here was that 81% of women feel more pressure not to fail than men, and believing that this holds people back. And so they're following that L'Oreal is looking to boost women's self-worth and self-esteem because I'm worth it. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. I don't know that I get what they're trying to do, but I can't imagine getting the buy-in of other people other than the brand ambassadors
Right.
to literally shift their profiles overnight to just show the misses essentially, or the struggles along the way, not showing any of their successes. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I do like the idea of, Eva Longoria is sharing that it took her a way longer time than it should have to become a director, or for, like Annie McDowell to break into her acting career. Like, that vulnerability is really powerful, but also, yeah, agreed. Like, women who don't feel confident enough as it is to share our wins will certainly not share our failures.
Yeah.
Like, how does that
Yeah.
compute?
So I imagine that their target here wasn't to get engagement of the actual hashtag, and maybe it was more of an awareness campaign, but it would be interesting to know what their measures of success, or intended measures of success, I should say, were for this campaign.
Yeah.
That being said, I do think they made a really interesting video of these women speaking to their failures along the way and this lack of confidence, and highly recommend checking that out. I just think the literal approach of LinkedIn, I was like, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you need to have the tangible with it, but it was very interesting,
Right.
and an interesting
And
approach because it's so different.
yeah,
And
and
it's like that. What's that post? Sorry, I totally interrupted you.
no, it's okay.
What's that post that goes around every few years that's like, Oprah didn't have success to this time. J.K. Rowling didn't write her first book till this time. This person, and trying to tell you that you don't need to hit these supposed milestones that we expect in our career. It's almost like they'd made like a visual representation of that in a way.
Yeah. And, all I was going to say before was that, to McCann's credit, the idea of taking this "because I'm worth it" tagline and reinventing it
Mm-hmm.
to really incorporate women's self-worth, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to "I'm worth looking good"
Mm-hmm.
versus "I am worthy of existing," is kind of a nice change of pace. So kudos to
Yeah.
McCann.
And recognizing it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but these women have accomplished incredible things. So if they can fail and get back up and do it again, so can the rest of us, right?
That's right. That's right.
And there was another campaign that had the opposite approach. Do you want to tell us a little about Rent the Runway celebrating wins on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Also unsure what their engagement was. So it's interesting because it's the polar opposite, but also very similar in a lot of ways of trying to get to the same point
Right.
in a way.
Trying to make the same point, have the same engagement, but also falling flat on their face. So Rent the Runway was giving away $1 million of monthly subscriptions to women who are willing to celebrate their career wins on LinkedIn. So, with more women in the workforce than ever, claims Jennifer Hyman, founder and chief executive officer of Rent the Runway, she wanted to know why women are still so hesitant to boast about their professional accolades. And I think we've covered it pretty much with the L'Oreal campaign, because if women are willing to share their setbacks, then, they're also not going to want to share their accomplishments. which is unfortunate because, I think the whole idea is that Rent the Runway wanted to get women shouting from the rooftops about their professional achievements and lifting up others who should be celebrated as well. And so, it's unfortunate that they did not have the outcomes that they were anticipating. But if we don't lift ourselves up and each other up, no one's going to do it for us. And
it's this idea
also,
that, it's interesting, right? When you're a little girl, you're like, heads down, do the work, and people will recognize your efforts. Whereas what it really is that if you want people to recognize your efforts, you got to let them know what you're doing.
Yep.
Because no one's looking and paying attention unless you're sharing it.
That's right.
And yet we're so much more willing to share, like, I got engaged, I had a baby, I moved. I have no idea. The things that get shared and celebrated are so often not, like, we're almost like too embarrassed to share of a proud accomplishment, right? When it comes to work or a win you have in the office or an award you've won or something else, it feels too self-promotion and too why can't I think of the word?
Self-promoting.
Self-serving. Yes. Self-serving, yes. Yeah. So I think it's interesting that I like what they were trying to do to get women to be their own hype women. Like Erin Gallagher has her hype woman hashtag on LinkedIn. But maybe they should have leaned into her approach and had you hype another woman.
There you go.
Because we also need to be supporting each other. So simultaneously, there could be just as much of that about it as well, right? There's this other quote I'm trying to find.
This campaign really hit home for me because I legitimately, this is a true story, I started writing a LinkedIn post right before I went on maternity leave that said, I've done a lot of cool shit in my career and you wouldn't know about any of it because I've never talked about it. And like, I left it as a draft as opposed to look at all this amazing things I've done and I'm about to go on maternity leave. I'm so excited to be, coming and like, fine. I'm going to hold myself accountable. Okay. You audience and Alana, you're now holding me accountable. I'm going to write this LinkedIn post and I'm also going to celebrate coming back from maternity leave and letting people know that I'm ready for work. Because if we don't let people know we have a podcast, Alana, who's going to listen to the podcast?
Yeah. If we don't, as Hyman said, if we don't promote ourselves, no one will do it for us.
That's right.
So it's important to highlight these successes. It's why Tony Perry came out with her hype book. And so it's so easy our brains are already wired, right, to think of the negative. So if we can remind ourselves of the positive, remind everyone else of the positive, and have the idea of this hype book too is to be able to write your accomplishments and celebrate all these things even for yourself, because it's so easy for us to even forget of all the incredible things that we've done, right? So just as much a reminder for ourselves and how much we've been able to accomplish as it is to share it with the world and celebrate all the growth that we've had.
That's right. Okay, so Rent the Runway has committed to giving away $1 million in free subscriptions and shining a light on these women who win the sweepstakes to provide crucial visibility for professional growth and advancement in any field. Additionally, however, Rent the Runway will also donate $1 million in gross merchandise value to Dress for Success to help women get dressed for interview opportunities that they may not have if they're not dressed well, which is upsetting of an idea, but it's true.
But it is. I mean, I think Dress for Success is also such an interesting organization, right? Like it is so important and incredible. And like, the better you feel when you're presenting, you feel more confident when you are dressed in a way that feels like you're presenting your best foot forward, right? So to be able to provide women with that confidence to go into those interviews and hopefully nail those jobs, I think is amazing.
Yeah. Plus, then Rent the Runway can donate the clothing and not end up in a landfill.
And there's that. So the irony of all of this is, even if we're acknowledging the importance of failure to reach success and we are being our own hype women and promoting our accomplishments, we're still up against these systemic challenges. The workforce is really just not built for us. And women are still leaving the workforce at record rates. There was a recent study between McKinsey and Lean In that noted that director level women are leaving at a higher rate than in past years, and even higher rate than men that are at the same level. There's other, articles and reports that it came out of that report. There was something in Forbes titled "Women Executives Leave the Workforce Faster Than They Are Promoted." So we can't change the systems if we're not in these leadership roles, yet people are leaving because they just don't feel supported. And I mean, a million different reasons. Maybe they're going to have to start their own companies, right? There's so many different reasons women leave. But if ever for every woman that's promoted to leave, what are we doing? And how can we continue to elevate and, break this glass ceiling, as they say? So we need to call to action, build a more inclusive work culture for women, reduce these microaggressions that women often face in the workplace, help promote women, help support, train, mentor, sponsor women so they can reach these, not even just cap out at a manager role, but continue to be trained and supported as they elevate throughout the workplace and get to the C-suite. And, don't just throw them into that C-suite role when the company's falling apart and expect them to fix it. What's that called? The glass cliff. So, I think we need to think about these more flexible work arrangements, as we were talking about with childcare, and support a culture, which I think is slowly starting some places, focusing on this idea of wellness and diversity and inclusion and not backing away from these DEI efforts, and really being supportive across the board to support everyone in the workplace. Oh, there's one more that we need to talk about that addresses all
my
women.
God. How could we forget? How could we forget? This was so brilliant.
A last minute ad because it needs to be addressed.
Oh my
and
God.
You have to spend 2 minutes of your life watching this video. Thinx went on a period road trip to show how their period panties can last for 12 hours and not get wet.
Yeah.
They took
Natasha Leggero. Yep.
And Ex Mayo on the road. It's pure genius.
It's pure genius because it's showing the product in a way that was intended to be used. Both comedians were actually on their periods when they filmed this.
I wondered what the logistics of this, by the way, to plan that.
Imagine the producer being like, so
I'm going to need to know your cycle, and you need to be on the same cycle. So if we need a couple months to get this aligned, let us know. Like, what? So good.
Insane. But yeah, so they go on this road trip, and they're both wearing the Thinx panties, and it's a 12-hour road trip because this is this panty.
That's how long they last.
Lasts 12 hours. It's very impressive. It's great creative. It's funny. It's real. It might be scripted, but it's brilliant.
Doesn't even matter. It does the job too, without having to do the thing where you're pouring liquid over. Because why did that become the way to advertise pads and everything else, period, for so long? To be able to take it into your everyday life and make jokes about it, well-written jokes, no less. They are funny. These women are hilarious.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
Down to her being in a laundromat to wash her pants, wearing no pants other than her Think undies, because it was not the period that ruined the pants. It was spilling something in the car. So those pants had to be washed. And how great is that? It's just very clever and funny, and everybody should watch it. And it brings, again, it's tackling an issue that is often stigmatized. It is not talked about. It is not visualized.
And of course, when Alana sent this to me, I was like, okay, this is fucking great. Number one, but also number two, I was joking that the one thing would have been great if they had added in a stat about period poverty or two, right? Because and therein lies the missed opportunity for good. But really, it was phenomenal. And along the same lines of period poverty, a product like this, where you can go 12 hours without changing a tampon or a pad or anything, think about how beneficial this is going to be for people who can't afford period products. what a
Totally. And
game
doesn't
changer.
Thinx donate? I think they have some sort of a donation program as well where they donate not just tampons and pads and cups the way that a lot of other organizations do. I think they actually donate their period panties because of the access that it gives.
But again, what a missed opportunity for good, right? Like, talk about, tooting your own horn, like Thinx, add in some sort of call to action about how your products are helping the greater good. But aside from that, like, really just top notch, and way to go, because that was really fun.
Yes, very much enjoyed. Yeah, they totally have a thing on their website about period poverty and the lack of access to period products, and partner with organizations and do a whole report called the State of the Period Report. So it is interesting that they didn't take this opportunity to acknowledge, and that is 100% stuff, a huge missed opportunity. I agree. Let's just add some more time on that road trip. Maybe they couldn't make jokes about period poverty because it's so real.
Yeah.
It's just not even joke worthy. They can just mic drop the stat in there in the middle and like have a pause. But yeah, we can link to that report as well, because if you're not educated on this issue, you can be now. Okay. Ladies, now get into formation. This is not meant to be woe is me. This is about all the incredible women and companies that are stepping up to pave the way for a better future for all. While many brands have had the luxury to decide if and how they want to support a social issue, women are highly aware that all voices are needed to push society forward for a more equitable future, and are not afraid to use their platforms to lift each other up and address the many stigmatized and controversial issues that are affecting women.
So, thank you so much for listening to our 2-part episode on raising up and lifting women and women's issues. Thanks for helping us shine a light and learn from those who are doing it well and reduce the missed opportunities for good.
We want to hear from you. Let us know. What campaigns are you seeing that are doing it well? Who would you like to see us interview? And what campaign would you like us to audit?
Thank you to our listeners for joining us on our mission to revolutionize the industry that we love.
Missed Opportunities for Good is powered by Love of Good and Aligned for Impact. To learn more, visit the links in the show notes.